Hello everybody, welcome to day 27 of our Lent 102 series. Today I'll be talking about drunkenness, banqueting and cares of life.
Morning star, morning star, we welcome you. He's the root and the offspring of David, the father and the son of the morning star.
So drunkenness, banqueting and cares of life, what do they mean? They're quite self-explanatory, but I'm just going to touch upon it a bit just so we can get a better understanding. So drunkenness is to do with being intoxicated, excessive amounts of alcohol, and banqueting is more of the celebration / party type of vibe, and cares of life is just to do with how much you're invested and how much you dwell in worldly affairs and also your lifestyle. So how are these things wrong? Why is drinking not good or bad, and why is going out partying, celebrating bad? Well, in actual fact, it's not bad. The bad thing about it is the amount of times that you do it, the excessive amounts. So with being drunk, you can find it that one or two drinks will keep you going, but then you get to 5 or 6 and that's when it becomes a problem. That is the issue at hand. And when it comes to going out all the time, kind of relying on that as your scapegoat to life. And with this being said, we have to understand that God does not want us to suffer, especially where Jesus Christ came and died for us. He has done all the suffering for us. We don't have to suffer. We don't have to say that, we're not going to go out and get a drink or celebrate, because we should be suffering. That's not the message that God is putting out to us. And I feel like it's very important to understand that these things, like having wine, turning water into wine, these are gifts from God. They're not supposed to be abused. He entrusted us with these gifts. So it's only up to us to make sure that we use these gifts in moderation. I know there's other topics in these series that we talk about, and a lot of it is to do with being responsible, knowing when to stop, knowing when it's too much. So what does the Bible actually say about these topics? So in Luke 21 verse 34, it says, "And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting," which is just an excess of something, "and drunkenness, and cares of this life, so that they may come upon you unawareness." So what this verse is talking about is that we cannot be super drunk to the point where we don't even know what's going around us, because at any given point, we as Christians, we as followers of Christ need to be on alert. We have to be ready. If that means that there's somebody that we must pray for there and then we have to be ready to do so, and we have to stay on hand. I also want to touch on the fact that when we do partake in excess amount of drinking or eating or going out, it does have an effect on our relationship with Christ. It has an effect on just how God sees us and how we see God, really, because we are putting these things at the forefront of our lives. We are saying that, not you and me in general, but overeating, over drinking is basically saying that, I need to depend on this in order for my life to function, when in actual fact, it's God that we need at the front, and then everything else comes later. So when you are making these things your God, so drinking, alcohol, partying all the time, when you are making that your God, that is drawing us away from God. And cares of life, we were talking about how this means kind of how much you dwell in the world, and how much you let it distract you from the word of God. And in 1 John chapter 2 verse 15 to 16, it says, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life, is not the Father, but is of the world." So I think the key thing to take from this verse is that a lot of things, just like drunkenness or partying, is all temporary in this world. The only thing that is everlasting, the only thing that is forever is God, which is why we need to make sure as Christians and or followers of Christ that we need to refrain from these excessive drinking, from excessively going out, and always maintain God at the forefront. Thank you for tuning in to day 27 of our Lent 102 series. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media platforms at Morningstar London. We'll be uploading daily content to help you through your Lenten season. Thank you and God bless.